I have yet to figure out a spot to put this. That's part of the problem. Being a collector, is you get it, you find it, and you find a spot for it later. Yeah, that will. Always gotta keep the house locked.
Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I just want to kind of tell you what's going on right now with this channel. I'm working on a documentary about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collectors and what makes us the same, what makes us different. The documentary is going to be average documentary length. It's going to be an hour and a half. But over the course of a year, I filmed several collectors and got an hour and a half worth of footage with each one. A lot of that will be left on the cutting room floor for the documentary, but I thought I would just put together smaller, short documentaries on each collector. And that's what you've seen. We started out with Pixel Dan up in Illinois. Then we went over to Queen G over in Sacramento and saw her collection. Then I took you down to Vegas and showed you Ethan's collection. And today we are going to Dallas to see Josh. And his collection is a museum, I guess is the best way to put it. If you want to see a collection that looks just absolutely pristine, neat, organized, overwhelming, abundant, this is that collection. This is truly a work of art as far as displaying Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So thank you guys for watching. There will be a lot more of these. Also, I want to branch out from just Ninja Turtle collectors. I want to start interviewing and documenting all collectors. So if you have a collection that you think is worthy, it doesn't matter where you are. As you can see, we're all over the map. Leave a comment, send us an email, and let us know so we can set up a time to talk about what you have, get some photos, and see if we're a good fit. In the meantime, watch this, but go ahead and hit that like button, hit subscribe, and hit the bell so that you can see all these crazy collections as we upload every Saturday morning at 9. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, the garage has a little bit of all the stuff that I can't fit in the house. So. Got all my arcades. So I can just come in and power those on, which is nice. Yeah, and then, like I said, got the living room, comic book stuff. VHS displays. Like I was telling you, this, I still gotta kind of tie that, but as you can see, like there's the tour stuff. Some of the Pizza Hut stuff. But, salt pepper shaker, turtles. I got a waffle maker, turtles. Lunchboxes up there, turtles. TV trays, kitchen theme, turtles. As annoying as it seems, I've tried to theme everything, which I know sounds bad. Like, I love how some collections are just so like everything clustered together, and I was so conflicted on how I wanted to display my stuff. Kind of like just the hodgepodge of everything, but I kind of just went wanting to be able to see as much as possible as every item, which is why like both the rooms kind of look like a store. Spinning turtles. Right, trying to see everything on the shelves as visibly as possible. And then like in the living room, since I've got my music player, I was like, hey, this will be the music TMNT themes type stuff. So I've got the soundtracks and the vinyl and the tour stuff because it's music related. So I've got all the the tour stuff that I have, some of the memorabilia, some of the actual like props, hands and calves from the actual tour. Then I've got my VHS displays. Sadly, this one is not quite complete. I'm missing the actual VHS holder, but it took a while to complete this whole thing, but I was super happy when I finally found the last piece. And then you can see the more tour stuff up there. The viewing area, you've got VHS tapes and comic books, so I felt like that kind of went together, and so I tried to just display it as clean as possible and have all the more modern comics, but with the vintage poster that tells you that reading is awesome. Thought that was a nice little addition. So this, I don't know how many people, oh god, it's heavy. I don't know how many people have this. This to me is one of my grail pieces. It's not a figure or anything, but I love the 1990 movie so much. And this is the 35 millimeter reel of the 1990 movie. So to me, even though it's not as pricey as some of the stuff that I've paid for, to me this is one of my favorite items. See, here's Teenage Mutant Turtles. They didn't even put the ninja in there for some reason, but it tells you the reel 5. So imagine splicing all these bad boys together on a projector. Would be dope, but I would probably ruin them, so I don't do that. But yeah, that's one of my favorite things in here. I've just got to find a nice way to display that without ruining it. So for now, it stays in the box where I can at least see it. This bitch is heavy. Now I've got my arcades. This is, we've all seen the re-release, so the arcade went up, but I have an original. So these are original. The side graphics on the first one's kind of been redone, but it's not like a Pi or anything else, like where it's just like a computer inside. This was one of my first big purchases when I kind of first started collecting, so I've had that for about 6 years, and it's awesome. It's like being back in the arcades as a kid. It's just crazy how certain things just take you back. And then ever since having this one, I was trying to find the Turtles in Time game forever. That was a little more difficult. I finally found this one. This one I actually got from auction, and it actually came from Mark Friedman, which was one of the guys, if you know, who helped with getting all the Turtle stuff licensed and everything. So he sold a bunch of stuff in an auction, and I bought quite a few things, but this was the most expensive thing that I got. And so now I have both Turtles in Time, and then the Pizza Drop game. So the only thing I'm missing is the pinball machine, which I'm on the lookout for. So hopefully I will find that someday.
Cowabunga! Fire! Hang on, Nico.
Memories. I'm going to Dallas Vintage Toys. Big old toy shop. Obviously. See if they have anything good. Well, they got lots of good stuff. So I guess it just depends on how much you want to spend before you walk out. The best thing I got from there? Ooh, I don't know. I've got quite a few from there. I've got
Got it. I want the Tuned On, the Rocksteady,
That was really,
and
that's kind of
Franken, or Raft, or I guess it's mine. Yeah.
this one room. This is more of all my vintage type stuff. Try to keep everything in here as vintage as possible. 88 through pretty much the 94, as you can see. Wall full of all the carded figures. trying to track down as many of those as I can. Got a pretty good start so far, but there are just so many, and a lot of them are getting pricier and pricier, so it's getting a bit more difficult. But I was lucky to get a good chunk of this in one big lot a few years ago, thanks to a buddy of mine, so that was awesome. As you can see on the top, I've got the Giants that a lot of people tend to like, and I was lucky enough to track down all of the giant trolls, which are hard to come by. I just never had a thing for trolls, but this was definitely a product of the 90s for sure. Some of my earliest memories of turtles was with these things. So I remember back in the day you could actually take those weapons and stuff to school, so we would play Ninja Turtles on the playground at recess, and so I definitely have a lot of memories of that, choosing the one kid, unfortunately, back in the day that nobody liked, always had to be the bad guy, but that's how it was back then. Just the box art on pretty much anything Turtles is just amazing. All the art and how it comes to the figure. I mean, sometimes just the box and the art is just better than the actual toy that you'll get, you know, as an adult, obviously. But open the closet up to be more display space. Still working on it. Any collector knows it's always it's a never-ending work in progress to just figure out how exactly you want everything to look. And then I do have a few of the prototype stuff. Some of the items in here are what's known as like hard copies, first shots. Basically, they come from the original sculpt to try to figure out how they're going to make the toy. So for instance, like Mummy Raph, I've only got half of him, but you can see how the articulation would be, all the pins, so they all pull apart for each piece to be made and figured out and then put together. So you've got a lot of stuff from that line. I don't know. The Cyber Samurai Leo is the closest one I have to complete, with the wrong head, but again, it's the closest one I got. I've got some of the torsos and heads for the pizza tossing turtles. Some of them have broken over the years, unfortunately, but a lot of it has kind of stayed intact. Let's see here.
Do you have Donatello?
What does he look like? He's the one with the tongue on the right side, right? Or the left side? He's on the left side. He is the one. I think he's this one then. This one. Right? Because he's the one that's got the tongue out on the left side. So yeah, I believe that's Donatello.
Because he wasn't issued in this latest re-release.
Yeah. A lot of them just have like slight differences. They're kind of hard to figure out how to display, which is kind of a pain in the butt. Some of the actual weapons, again, these are just kind of the best I could make to hold these sons of guns. This is basically Super Don. You've got the torso, and the arms are still kind of like attached from the pole, so they're haven't ever been fully cut out. And then you've got the legs. You even have his little sidekick and his shield. So he's also pretty close to complete. His cape and everything as well. Cape Bebop and Donatello's cape from the Universal Studios line. So I was lucky enough to find those as well. Same buddy that helped me get pretty much all these carded figures. The rarest thing in here would probably be the prototype bowls, because obviously that was like never a release thing, so that was kind of in the creative stages. So that would be some of the rare stuff that I have. Some of the most expensive other rare stuff, obviously the giant trolls are super rare, or pricey at least, and then the basketball giant Donatello is definitely up there these days. Sealed Technodrome and the sewer set may not be super rare, but those are literally some of the best play sets that have ever been made for any toy line ever. Having both those sealed and boxes in relatively good shape, a highlight for sure. And this is my other room. I usually just refer to it as my glass room because most of it is glass displays. This is a bit more of the modern stuff, like a lot of the NECA, Toon Line, Mirage, movie, all of that, and some Super 7, some of the statues by Sideshow. So that's what you'll really find in here. And then what kind of obviously stands out from the rest in here is this is some more vintage stuff that I didn't have in the other room, but it is some of the either pricier figures that I wanted to have a bit more protected. So they've got some acrylic cases. You've got most of the 10 backs. So you've got the original carded figures here. And then the movie star line, which a lot of people like as well. And then on the top shelf, I've got some of the, like I said, a bit pricier, a few rare figures. Hotspot, Shogun Show, the one that everybody kind of knows and debates whether it's rare or just expensive, is the Scratch. So kind of keep these in here just to, like I said, have them out of harm's way and a bit more protected, so that I know they're in good hands here. The black belt storage shells, or black belt storage shells, are pretty hard to come by as well. This is the only one I have. The card's a little beat up, but I was lucky enough to find this at a convention for like $50. At that point, I didn't know what the value of these went for. I just said, it sounds about right. And I found out later that definitely got a good deal on that. So that's the only black belt storage shell I have of those. But that's why he's in here. But I need to get him a case as well, so he'll be more protected. I love the 1990 movie. Like, I remember going to the theater and seeing it as a kid. I can't even count how many times I've seen that movie, so I can recite it literally line by line. So the NECA quarter scale stuff or any of the like movie stuff looks so on point that if I probably sold my entire collection, I'd at least keep some of that movie line, because it's just, I don't know, it's just one of my favorite things. These statues, it's a bit pricey to kind of go into that rabbit hole, but from the cartoon line, like, those look amazing as well. So sometimes I just come in here and I'll just pull out my director's chair and you just kind of sit and look at all the money that you've spent, but but you enjoy it, so it's worth it. But yeah, so I know it seems a little silly, but yeah, it's just, I don't know, that's the NECA stuff for sure, the movie line, and obviously the original 10, because that's what started it all. And I definitely remember having all of these as a kid, and these are the some of the soft head loose figures. This one actually even still has the beaded chucks still intact, so I definitely don't try to have him hold them both or bend those, because Lord knows they will break. So he's kind of a hard to find guy as well. With the most recent stuff is the new NECA, Mirage, Archie, and then the Holothon, which has been a pain for everybody to find. So that is all the most recent stuff, aside from the Secret of the Ooze. But yeah, the cases are definitely getting full. So it's nice to have them nice and full. But I will say, this haulathon, dropping all those figures at once and being a person who buys one to keep in box and one to open, oh, that hurt the wallet for sure. It was about $1,300 just to buy 2 of everything, of what I could find at least. So, ugh, that hurt a little bit. That was like a rent check. So I call this my Hall of Frame. You know, like Hall of Fame, whatever. It's nerdy, but that's me. So a lot of these are original. So these original Milliways Turtle Force. So these are a bit harder to find. Some of these are just from artists that, you know, kind of do collaborations and make good stuff as well. This was from the soundtrack, and I actually had it signed by Judith and Brian, the voice of Leo, and obviously April O'Neil. I like the movie posters. Like I said, 1990 movie is my favorite. So if I find anything like a foreign poster or anything that I can, I will grab those. And then I've just got all the original vintage posters as well from 1 and 2, and then a couple from 3, and then that big old soundtrack subway type poster. So.